You may be wondering, how do you actually create an aligned culture? It all starts at the senior leadership team level, and there are two things that are critical to achieve that. First thing is what we call 1-2 thinking. So let me just talk you through that very quickly. It won't make any sense to you right now, but it will do in just a second. So let's just imagine that you are the CFO. You've just been appointed CFO, and in a traditional organisation, CEO would say, you as a CFO, you are responsible for the success of the finance team. What happens in that old traditional way of thinking is that you create 2-1 thinking. And 2-1 thinking is dysfunctional and competitive. Because what happens is, so as a CFO, every time I'm meeting at senior leadership team level, what I'm doing is I'm going into those and I'm actually reporting up what is happening within each of the areas of the business that I'm responsible for. So if I'm the CFO, I'm going to be reporting up what's happening in finance. So the kind of behaviours you get when there's 2-1 thinking, because the primary focus would be the success of the team, i.e. the finance team, secondary focus would be the senior leadership team. And what tends to happen, the kind of behaviours that you see when you have 2-1 thinking in the senior leadership team, is that people will start to promote and defend. So as a CFO, I might start to promote my area, and I then might defend when resources are low, or defend if somebody else is challenging me. So it actually creates a competitive environment, which ultimately will then create that across a culture. Where we want to be is in an aligned culture where we've got alignment and cooperation. And at a senior leadership team level, what happens is that we have what we call 1-2 thinking, which creates alignment and cooperation. And what happens when a senior leadership team member has 1-2 thinking, their primary focus is the success of the senior leadership team, the success of the organisation. So what will happen is that as a senior leadership team, they will agree a strategy, and there will be some robust discussions for sure, but their responsibility will be then to cascade the decisions and the strategies that are agreed at this level down to their respective business units. So the kind of behaviours you get in an aligned and cooperative senior leadership team are challenging each other, because of course you are going to challenge, and also support. The second thing that a senior leadership team needs to demonstrate is cabinet unity. And I'm sure some of you are probably reflecting the recent weeks and the recent spill in government and the chaos that has caused. Why? Because there was no cabinet unity. And we think about what cabinet unity is, it's a group of people, in this instance it was the politicians, being aligned and committed to one cause. And clearly that wasn't the case. Exactly the same in a senior leadership team. It's critical that they demonstrate cabinet unity. Now, does that always mean that they're going to agree 100%? No, it doesn't. And there will certainly be some robust conversations, as there were in caucus, and there'll certainly be some robust conversations, within a senior leadership team meeting. There needs to be, because they've got to challenge and support each other. But let's say you finish the meeting, there may only be 70 or 80% agreement, but as they walk out of that room, they are 100% committed. And so irrespective of which area of the business they come from, if someone asks what have they discussed, there will be a common message, a consistent message that comes through, and a consistent strategy, because they're 100% committed to what's been agreed. What's really interesting, if we reflect back again to what happened in government, in the last 10 days, there was a hairline crack. And what that hairline crack did was create a chasm. Exactly the same within an organisation, within a senior leadership team. If there is a hint of a hairline crack in a senior leadership team, it will create an almighty chasm across the organisation. And what does that look like? It looks like silos, it looks like power plays, and potentially a really toxic culture. You might also see that with mum and dad. You know, if mum and dad are not demonstrating cabinet unity, if there's a hairline crack between mum and dad and the way that they're agreeing on how they bring up their children, then what happens? Children start to play up. So 2 things critical for a senior leadership team towards helping create an aligned culture. First of all, 1-2 thinking. Second, demonstrate cabinet unity always. Thank you.